Every trip starts the same way. Before there's a single crayfish on deck, there's always a job that needs to be done first. These are tangle nets. Every mesh has been replaced over the winter months, remounted, untwisted and re-rigged. Miss one float, one weight or one damaged section and it can cost you time, money and lots of effort. In this video, we'll be heading back to a patch of ground that's produced some massive crayfish over the years for both my grandfather and my father. But this type of fishing, nothing is guaranteed. The weather, the tides and luck need to be in your favour. And now these nets are rigged and ready to go in the water, it's their time to shine, and it won't be long until we find out what's waiting for us. Plan tomorrow is to go out and shoot these few strings of nets, and then I'll be changing over again to pots, and I'll be hauling a couple of strings of pots. I'll be leaving the nets for a couple of days and then I'll be going out hauling them and checking them to see is there any crays on the go. So we have an 8.5 mile steam to get to the grounds where I'm going shooting the nets here. And there's an easterly breeze there, so it's not the nicest of a day, but we'll get the job done anyway. I'll be shooting these and then I'll be going away hauling lobster pots. I'll be rigging up and connecting all the chains, the weights onto the straps. So that's what keeps the nets anchored, and we'll be shooting them then when we get there. So we're 8.5 miles offshore here now. We're down to the ground where I'm going shooting the nets. I'm just going to put her into the wind here now on the autopilot and get this net rigged up. So I'll be putting a weight right down by the door. And this will be the last weight to go away. So this is the last weight. I'll be rigging this up here, just putting the toggle through the loop. And that's that weight on. The first buoy here to go away. That's ready to go. And this is the other buoy line. So put that toggle through the loop. And that's that one locked in. So I'll just be leaving this buoy here on the deck. I'll be steaming up to the ground now. I'll be turning around and shooting this back. It was a bit of an uncomfortable steam out when you're steaming 8.5 miles into it, but once I get these shot now, I'll be happy. I just need to make sure I get these nets exactly where I want them. I'll be throwing away the buoy line. And I'll go ahead here straight away, so she doesn't blow back on top of the rope. And make sure I get these where I want them now. With the wind and the tides, it's easy to come off the ground you want to be on. And there's 35 fathom of buoy lines to go away. That's the weight gone. So I'll be pressing track here. The nets are going away. And they look to be going away fine. We're shooting these nets here at 6.5 knots. And it's giving the weather getting worse as the day's going on. These nets are 600 yards long. So I've one long string here, and then I have 3 shorter strings, which are 300 yards each. The biggest worry at this job is getting spiders in the nets. Besides safety being number one. Fishing comes second to safety, always. So that's the nets gone there, the end of the nets. And the weight will pull away now. And that's the weight gone. So it's just the buoy line here now. Leave that up there and it'll feed itself out the bin. And that's the end of that string away. Now I'll put this bin out the way. And we'll rig this one up. So this is the weight that'll be going out last. The buoy line that'll be going out last. You have to make sure that you don't get a twist in these, because the end of the net will go away fouled. So get our weights. Be clipping the weight on here. That toggle is tight. Right. Right, clip this buoy on. It floats. And another weight. Just take her out of gear a minute while I'm going back here. So this weight will be the first one to go away. And that's this buoy clipped on. Oh, there's actually an extension to go onto this. So this extension is just to lengthen the buoy line for the depth I'm fishing, because later in the year I'll be bringing the nets in shallow and there's no point in having a load of buoy line when you don't need it. So coil this up and I'll be landing it on the deck to make sure it goes away clear, because we need all of our buoy line clear, otherwise it'll be pulling the weights. And this is our end. We'll be clipping the buoy on here. And on to where I'm going to shoot these now. So we're down to the next part of the ground here now. I'm going to come around and throw away the buoy. Line her up for the ground, take her out of gear. Fire this buoy away. Go in now and go ahead again. Get ready to press track when that weight goes away. It's coming to the weight there now. Give her a shot ahead and that should pull away. Now that's that gone. Press track. They normally go away without any fouls, but sometimes you can get a foul. And they're pulling away fine. The ground looks good. Whether the crays will be on the move now, we'll find out soon if the fishing will be in our favour. Crayfish aren't as plentiful as lobsters, but they can be worth nearly double what lobsters are worth pretty much at all times. And I haven't seen a cray now in about 6 or 7 months, so I'm looking forward to seeing one coming over the side. That's the end going away there now. It'll be the weight next. And that's the weight gone. And that's the extension for the buoy line going away. And the buoy is gone. I'll turn around and go back into the wind here. I'll just have to go on the other side of that buoy. Just in case there's any rope floating that we just shot away,
I'll go around the buoy here and I'll be shooting another string onwards from that one. So we're steaming to the last place here now. That's getting wet. This is a painting my little daughter painted for me. She loves Christmas. She wanted me to take it down to the boat and keep it here. Everything we do is for them. I'll be shooting this here now. We're down to the ground. Throw away this boy. Go in and go ahead. This patch of ground is narrow. I want to make sure I get this right. Coming onto the wade here now. We're coming up on the ground perfect. And we're in 25 fathom depth. About 150 foot of water. And there was a small bit of a foul went out there, but that's very important. You'd be inclined to go back and give the nets a pull, but when you're on your own, it's too dangerous. You have to leave them go. The last thing we want is to go out there and get fouled in them nets, because you wouldn't be going home. And we're coming onto the weight. That's the weight gone now. And that's the last buoy away. So that's all the nets shot. And we'll be seeing in the next couple of days, is there any craze there? Bring it on! We have arrived at our destination, which bears the question, will we see returns in the first string of the season? Is there craze on the move? We won't be long finding out. Fingers crossed everything goes to plan. Clutch in the hydraulics here and put the hauler going. So this is the buoy here, this needs to come off. So just clip that out and I'll put the buoy in the box here. And we're on. We have 35 fathom of buoy line to haul here now before the end weight will come up. So this is the end weight that anchors the gear. And I'll be clipping that off now as well. And I'll be putting it back here. Everything has to be able to clip off to go back through the net stacker here. And that's what hauls the nets back into the bins for me so they're ready to shoot again. And these are the ends coming up. No sign of a cray yet. Not looking good so far. We have a cray. Woo! First cray of the season. He looks to be in size, but we'll have to measure him. And I'll keep him out to the side. We have a brown crab here. The labour comes into it when you hit a bunch of crabs. spider crabs mainly, and it can take a long time to pick them all out. But we look fairly clean here now, for the nets have been here for 4 days. And they look fairly clean, so we're lucky enough. If we could just hit another few crays. Sea urchin. We only need a few crays of string to make it pay. Crays are worth around 1.5 times what lobsters are worth. So you don't need to catch as many of them, but there doesn't look to be a whole lot of life there. But this net is 0.35 of a mile, 600 yards. So we have a good bit to go. And we have a brown crab here again. It's a female. So I'm driving the boat up to the gear at all times, as these nets are fairly light. And if you start dragging them along the bottom, you tear them and make wreck of them. Fine male crab. Where are the crays at? Come on! We look to be coming up now on a big rock. This is where we could see some crays. Fingers crossed. And we have a cray. I'll go ahead here and lift this cray in. It's a fine cray. Look at that. That's what we want to see. And we have another cray on the way. Can we keep the good times rolling? We're on to the second net here now. We're halfway. Cray! Woohoo! That one might be undersized. We'll be measuring them afterwards when we take them out of the nets. The tides were very strong when I shot these. And just like lobster and crab, tides can really affect the movement of crayfish. Spider crab. This little hauler's a good job, but it's at its limits out in this depth. So I just take my time getting them in. Cray! Woohoo! And a spider crab. Come on, give us another cray. We're getting close to the end. 5 crays so far, which isn't bad, but for this length of gear, it could be better. A male brown crab. He's a cripple and only has 1 claw. What have we coming up here? A spider crab. I thought it might have been a crayfish when I seen it coming up. They're similar colour. It's not looking good for another cray in this one. And the end is here. So this is the end here. And there's a lead line. There's a bit of a twist in that, yeah, that's okay. There's a lead line here and an 8mm rope, and then on the headline we have a 6mm and an 8mm. So this is your floaty side, then you have your netting, and then you have your lead line. and I'll be hauling them back into that black bin and get them ready to shoot. 5 crays, and that's the weight up. Clip that off. I'll bring this weight back here. That'll be ready to clip on when I'm shooting. And that's the ending. First string of the season, 5 crays. Nothing major. That's if they're all in size. I'll have to measure them now. So I'll start off by taking the crays out. And this is where the time comes into it. It can be slow taking everything out of the net. Although I could take crays out of nets all day long. Bring it on! So we have 2 out there now. I would say one of them's undersized. Unlike lobsters, crayfish don't have claws. They do have these 2 little pinchers, but they wouldn't be shaped like a lobster claw or a crab claw. And they use them to crush and eat their food. Not like a lobster where they have 1 claw bigger than the other, one for tearing and ripping and the other for crushing. And that's your crayfish. They have these 2 pinchers here, and they're like small little pinchers, and that's how they crush their food. And the last cray here is the finest of them all. So there we have it, the crayfish, the long-awaited crayfish. And they're actually known as European spiny lobster, but around Ireland we call them crayfish. But they're the exact same thing as a spiny lobster you'd see in the likes of Australia and New Zealand. They get a lot of them there, and they actually catch them in pots. So I'm envious of them people that catch them in pots, because there's a lot more work that goes into catching them in nets. So I'll get the measure out, and how we measure them here, you go from the top of the spike here down to their back, and you can see he's in size. He's a big fish, and he's about 10 or 12 mil in size. So the minimum landing size here for a crayfish is 110 mil, which is a fairly big fish, and the rest of them go back anything under 110. So you can see that one's in size. So there's 5 there. That one's in size. That one's just in size. And that one is just under. So this little cray, you can see here, he's just under size by about 3 or 4 mil. They would be well capable of good eating, but just to keep the stocks healthy, they keep the minimum size fairly big on crayfish. So away he goes. His lucky day. Now to clear the rest of the net. And here's your sea urchin. They have a small little beak here, and that's how they crush and eat their food. And they have lots of spikes. They'd stick through your gloves, and they can get infected fairly easy. These spider crabs are probably the slowest to pick out. With their big head, makes it awkward to pull them out. And like I said earlier, they are the dreaded crab of this fishery because they come in such high volumes. And the reason I'm so far offshore today is to try and dodge them. This time of year there would be a lot inshore compared to out here. Later in the year I'll move my gear in closer to shore when the spiders start moving off. So there was 4 in that. And it's a start, but it's not really good out of that length of a net. So I'll put these crays into this bin and I'll be running the hose through that throughout the day. So I'll grab the end and start getting them back. So the end here I keep over the side of the bin, just like that, so I can clip on my buoy afterwards. Whip this back. And this net stacker is a gift. It's like having another man with you. And this is the strap for the weight. This is where I'll be clipping on my weight. So I'll be putting this one back here, and they can't get fouled, because if they get fouled when it's going out, it'll go out in a ball. Foot on my side. Pull the bin up here and get it ready for shooting. Clipping on the second weight here. And clipping on the buoy. And besides me coming out to throw away the buoy line, that should all go away itself. I shouldn't have to come out the wheelhouse after throwing away the buoy. Clutch out the hydraulics and we'll find a home for this. I'll move that a bit this time. See, can we find better fishing? While that's not bad fishing, it's definitely not great fishing. You could see up to 30 out of a string that length. Well, that would be fairly an extreme haul to get, but I have seen it. So we're coming up to the next string. And it's the last and final string of the day. I've hauled a few strings since. Some have been very good, some not so good. But that's fishing for you. But as long as we're here and we're kicking, we won't be giving up. We'll be trying our best, and that's all we can do. You could be the best fisherman in the world, but the sea only gives up what it wants to give up. I've the hose going in the bin there all day, and that's keeping the crays happy. And once they're happy, I'm happy. The weight is on the way. That's the end weight aboard. Clip off that toggle. Put that back there for ready for shooting. Can we get a few crays in this one? The doubles are coming up. We're doing well to avoid the spiders all day, and it really makes things a lot easier when you're not getting them. Something coming up here. A cray, woohoo! First cray of the string. Looks like a keeper. Female brown crab here. We have a little baby cray. A small little one. It's a female. Oh my God, look at the size of him. He's a fine crab. Look at that. He'd struggle to get into a pot. He's a fine male crab. That looks like dinner sorted for the family tonight. Happy days. Cray! Woohoo! Looks to be in size, but we'll have to measure it afterwards. Cray! And another one. Look at that. They're a thing of beauty. One of God's amazing creations. Right in front of our eyes. Can we get another one? Yes, we can. Woohoo! Ha ha ha! We're coming towards the end of this net now. They're short strings. Can I see whiskers? Yep, another cray. Undersized by the looks of it. Looks small. That cray is definitely undersized. Away he goes. Back to live out the rest of his days. The tides are getting slacker from here on, meaning the tide won't be going in and out as much. There'll be less of a run in the tide, so we might see an improvement in the fishing for the next shot. So I'll be hauling pots after this, and I'll be leaving these nets again for 3 to 4 days, and that's the end up. Just a wait to come. So I'll be hauling pots for the next 2 or 3 days, and then I'll be back to these nets to check them again. And here comes the end weight. Last one of the day. Wind her on! Get this in, get the nets sorted, and get them back. That's the buoy in. Put the buoy over here and we'll measure these, get them out the net. Get them banded, measured, banded, and get them into the water. Using nets to catch them is effective, but it's definitely not the most user-friendly. But we'll take them whatever way we can get them. Number 4 and number 5 is just a small little one. Small little female. Look at this little one. Away she goes. Back to grow and produce some babies. Happy days. We'll get these measured in size, just under, and in size. So there was 3 in that, and this cray was just under size. So it's a male, he's going back. And I'll change over the hydraulics, and I'll get this crab out if he doesn't take my fingers off. Look at the size of that crab. Stud of the ocean floor. Crays and crabs, absolute beauties. So I'm just going steaming to the ground where I'm going shooting these nets, and I'm going in hauling pots then after that. But that's it for this week's video. Thanks very much for tuning in, and if you've enjoyed it, don't forget to subscribe, and I'll catch you on the next one. Cheers.